but it's all or none, and you should.
It's a tough process, especially for freshmen when they got to come in here and get thrown in the fire. I mean, you're getting thrown in the fire in the wrestling room, then you got to go to class and learn something that you probably don't want to learn about.
You could also do this in a temporal manner. This arrives here, right? At this point on the dendrites.
There's some good verses here. We can make great wrestling application for these too. But 1 Corinthians chapter 3. I work with Athletes in Action. Is a branch of the ministry of Campus Crusade for Christ. And our goal is to help students understand more about Christianity.
It works out good for me. I don't know. Some people like it, some people don't. It's helped me a lot, I think, just dealing with different pressures, just big matches, stuff like that.
You may not be a national champion this year, realistically, right? That doesn't mean that you can't have something that's going to last forever. Someday, in heaven, because you've trusted in Jesus, there's going to be a reward for you.
He knows what it takes to dig deep and be tough. He can relate to that because he's been through all that stuff.
72 made the Olympic team, took a silver medal in Munich, and then trained another 4 years with Athletes in Action, and then won a gold medal in the Montreal Olympics.
Spiritual has always been a big part of my life, and when I found out last year that they offered those meetings, I thought it'd be a great thing. And it's actually even helped me more with just my spiritual life, because every time we go in there, he ties the day's lesson into something to do with wrestling.
Somebody will take offense to it, I'm sure. But it's like, it's a deal to where I think that it's important. You know, it's that I'm charged with their development. I'm charged with their morals and their values if they make a mistake.
Wrestlers are pretty, I would say most wrestlers are pretty much all the same, whether you're going to see him or not. And there are guys that don't choose to see him, and that's fine, that's their choice. And the guys who do go to see him respect that, and they respect the fact that we do want to see him.
Here we go, ready?
It's kind of funny when you're recruiting a guy, you know, he's the greatest thing ever, and you build him up, but as soon as they get in the room, you know, the old guys are excited to get out there and beat up on them and knock them down a notch and let them know they're a rookie and they got a lot to learn.
Last year we always kind of a little bit dreaded going to practice, like, oh crap, you know, an hour from now I'm going to go get my face pounded on the mat, you know, for an hour, it's going to be dying and everything.
The first day I had to wrestle Ryan Lewis in a 1 hour long match, and I think I scored maybe once the entire time. After it was over, I was sitting against the wall, just kind of wondering what went wrong there. I couldn't really figure it out.
Maybe a younger guy or something gets a takedown on you. I mean, I tell you what, that's the worst thing they could ever do, because as an older guy, you're going to turn around and you're just going to pound the shit out of him next, and he knows it too.
There are going to be times where they think they're the world's worst wrestler, and you got to convince them they're still pretty good. You know, they came in good, and a lot of times the freshmen, they actually get worse. At the beginning of the year, their confidence gets shot, they get beat on by the old guys. And you just got to say, you know, hang in there, time, you know, you'll be all right.
Me and Bronson have gotten into some pretty good fights in the wrestling room. By the time we leave, you know, I'm giving them a ride home. It's like, that's just how we are as a team. We're all close, we're all friends, just because we might be at the same weight or have differences here or there or whatever, you know, especially pertaining to getting a starting spot.
It's a real good motivator to have somebody like that in the room, you know, to push yourself towards, to try to build on, because, you know, I know when I get to the point where I can get equal with him, you know, I'm going to be right on up there with the top guys in the nation.
you're going to go into a room and see two guys battle it out for 45 minutes, and after they're done, they're going to go back to the locker room and go back home and just hang out, because they know that when you're downstairs in that wrestling room, it's just all wrestling business. If one guy's beating the snot out of another guy, then he knows it's out of respect, and it's out of the fact that he's got a long ways to go before he can get there.
The wrestling team's kind of like a frat because we're hanging out all the time. I mean, we live together. It's like people in the dorms live together. There's like 3 houses that it's all wrestlers. I mean, we're together all the time.
Get him, get him, get him.
Oh, that was a double.
Oh, nice bomb. Stay up there, Cole. Oh, you must have killed me.
Everybody's calling everybody to see what's going on. I mean, we're all going to movies together and stuff. We're hanging out. I mean, everybody knows everything about everybody.
The closer I get to them, the more I like it. And I've never had guys not say I'm going to do this or not do that or not do, you know, what I tell them to do. So they know where the line is. But when we're outside of here, it's pretty much a free-for-all. They'll make fun of me. They'll address me. They'll cut me apart, you know. But when we're in a wrestling room, they know it's business and it's a different environment. I like it, and I think they like it.